Avanti International is the leading supplier of chemical grouts for sewer rehabilitation, structural water control, and soil stabilization. Since 1978, Avanti's product line has grown from acrylamide gel and urethane to over 15 chemical grouts. Avanti provides the technical support necessary for applicators to achieve successful results in a safe and efficient manner. Avanti's strategy of supplying the highest quality chemical grouts focuses on the correct application of the products. Pump operation training. Proper use of the pumping equipment is a key factor in the success of the grouting project. In this presentation, you will learn the operating procedures for the Avanti multi-ratio pump. Avanti's AV254 Gel Seal urethane gel was used in this training. The Avanti multi-ratio pump may be stainless or not. Stainless steel is required for acrylic grouts, but not for urethane grouts. There are 2 air motors and pump cylinders, 2 air regulators, and 1 air inlet on each multi-ratio pump. The on-off switch is located near the air motor on the air inlet hose. The air pressure adjustment knob is on the top of the regulator. Step 1. Proper personal protection. The personal protective equipment required while using chemical grout is head protection, splash-resistant goggles, Tyvek chemical-resistant coveralls, and chemical-resistant gloves and boot covers. Long-sleeve shirts are recommended. Ventilation is an important aspect of project planning. A respirator equipped with an organic vapor cartridge should always be available, and ventilation should be augmented by blowers or fans when appropriate. Step 2. Hose and F-assembly attachment. Hoses are attached to the pump and to the F-assembly using quick couple fittings. These fittings are to be set up so that hoses cannot be hooked up backwards. Red tape on the pump and hose indicate grout. Blue tape indicates water for urethane grouts. For acrylic grouts, blue tape indicates a hose containing grout and Cat T. Red tape indicates a hose containing AP. Note: before starting grouting operation, make sure that the 2 throat seals at the top of the pump pistons have sufficient lubrication. This should be checked each time you use the pump. An initial supply of throat seal liquid will be provided with the pump. Not following this step could damage the pistons. Step 3. Adjusting the ratio on the pump. In this video, we wanted an 8:1 ratio for water to grout. 4 clean 5-gallon pails were utilized. We filled the first pail with water and put the suction line for the water pump into the bucket. The discharge end at the water hose was directed to a second clean 5-gallon pail. We turned the water side pump on, set the air pressure regulator to 100 psi, and pumped a few gallons of water into the receiving pail. Then, we turned off the pump and poured the water back into the supply side pail. On the grout side, we used the other 2 pails in the same manner. We turned the grout pump on, set the pressure regulator to 30 psi, and pumped water from pail number 3 to pail number 4. We set the pressure slightly above that necessary to make the pump pick up the water. Operating both pumps at the same time, we could see the buildup of water in the 2 receiving pails. We adjusted the pressure on the regulators until we got an 8:1 ratio based on our observations of 8 times as much water in the water side pail. Note that increasing the pressure on the regulator increases the number of strokes per minute, so more liquid is pumped with higher pressures. To reduce the flow on one side, reduce the pressure at the regulator. Next, we connected the F-assembly, valves off, to the grout and water hoses, with the water hose outside and the grout hose inside. This arrangement allows the operator to remove the grout hose, open both valves, and pump water through the grout side of the F-assembly for cleaning purposes. Step 4. Flushing the system. Before and after using chemical grout, the pump must be flushed with AV208 acetone for urethane or with water if pumping acrylic grouts. Urethane chemical grouts are activated by contact with water. Therefore, all moisture in the pump and the grout hose must be removed prior to loading the pump with grout. Pour approximately 1 gallon of AV208 acetone into one of the clean 5-gallon pails. Put the suction line or stinger for the grout pump into the acetone pail. With the F-assembly valves closed, turn on the grout air drive. The pump will draw up acetone into the pump and hoses. When the discharge hose is pressurized, the pump will stop. Into one of the 4 clean 5-gallon pails, inject the acetone by opening the grout side valve while pointing the F-assembly into the pail. Once acetone comes out of the F-assembly, close that valve and the pump will again stop. The next step is to load the pump with chemical grout. Step 5. Charging the pump with chemical grout. Remove the stinger from the acetone and put it into a clean 5-gallon pail containing 1 or 2 gallons of grout. Open the grout valve on the F-assembly and turn on the grout pump. Direct the discharge from the F-assembly into the same bucket of acetone and water from the previous step until grout appears. Then close the valve on the F-assembly and turn off the pump. After charging the pump with grout, we pumped a gallon or so of grout and water into an empty pail. The quality of the cured grout sample told us how close to the 8-to-1 ratio we were. Initially, we had to increase the pressure on the grout side, as the viscosity of grout was higher than the water, and the pump would not pick up the grout unless we applied more pressure. Step 6. Cleaning the pump. To properly clean the grout from the pump, remove the stinger from the grout pail, pumping the remaining product back into the pail until the hose is empty. Place the stinger into a new pail of acetone and flush the system as previously described in Step 4. Remember to always use low pressure for setting up and cleaning the pump to prevent splashing. Safety goggles must be worn throughout the process. The final step is to run Avanti AV284 pump wash through the pump by pouring 2 gallons into a clean 5-gallon pail. Submerge the stinger and turn the pump on to circulate the product through the pump and back into the same pail. Allow the pump wash to circulate for approximately 2 minutes. The pump wash lubricates and protects internal pump components, ensuring quality performance and longevity. Once complete, turn off the pump and coil up the grout hose. Circulate some pump wash through the water side in the same manner. Dispose of leftover acetone, grout, and pump wash in an approved manner according to local standards and requirements. Generally, the addition of some chemical grout to the acetone, water, and pump wash to gel and cure those products will result in a cured gel mass that is non-toxic, inert, and more easy to dispose. Thank you for viewing the Avanti Grout training video. If you have any further questions, please call Avanti Tech Support at 1-800-877-2570. For training on proper use of Avanti pump equipment, visit avantigrout.com.